It's the WIAT Red Zone, brought to you by Pepsi.
This time tomorrow night, University of Phoenix Stadium going to be rocking, but will it be the Tide fans who are cheering, or will they be silent? Kickoff less than 24 hours away. We've been dissecting it all week long, and we're going to do it a little bit more right now. Chris Brees and Lauren Sisler.
A little bit more.
On the Sunday Night Red Zone. We can break this down all we want. X's and O's, everything that needs to happen. We keep coming back to one thing. If Derrick Henry gets his yards, nothing else might matter.
Derrick Henry has been the catalyst behind this football team all season long. Not only is he shattering the records at Alabama, he's also shattering those records along the SEC, leading the nation in rushing yards, touchdowns, carries, you name it, he's got it. And he's also taking over the record books here. Clemson's defense, they can't sell out though, because Michigan State limited his yardage, but it didn't keep Jake Coker from hitting some targets. Dabo knows all about Alabama's ability to beat you on more than one front.
They're built to run the ball. It's what they do. Great up front, physical. They're really a complete offense in every sense of the word. But so, yeah, no, nothing changed. I've seen Alabama a lot, and everything I saw in that game just kind of confirmed what I already knew.
Clemson has played their fair share of great running backs. Delvin Cook, Florida State, the headliner. So the Tigers have stopped the run before. Michigan State stopped Henry, 75 yards. But that didn't turn out so well because of this guy. Now, we around the SEC know all about Jake Coker. He can make plays. But last week was kind of an introduction to the country. 286 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. But still, people are calling him a game manager, nothing else. It's his moniker. He can't shake it, get away from it. It's Jake Coker, the game manager. What does he think about that?
It's something that I've never really understood because, you know, I don't know, if you manage a game and win it, that's fine. I'll manage the crap out of that game. You know, it is what it is.
And he's been doing that too. Great targets to go to as well. Now, Calvin Ridley, talked to him earlier in the special. Lauren also had a chance to talk with Ardarius Stewart. He's a Fultondale native.
You're finally here. The clock is ticking down. You're just days away from the national championship. What is your emotion right now?
Right now I'm pretty calm, but come close to the game I might get a little jittery, you know, more excited. But right now I'm just chill right now, just calm, and I'm just waiting for the day to come.
What does that routine look like when the nerves start picking up a little and keeping yourself calm? How do you get your mind right and get ready to go out there and play football?
I know there's a lot of Rice Krispie treats need to be eaten to stay calm, but you know, I'm just in there, just vibing to my music, and it just comes.
You were part of this team last year and faced the defeat against Ohio State. What is different about this team, and what makes you convinced that you're going to go out there and finish the job this year?
I mean, since the Ole Miss game, it's been a different vision for our team because it's been an elimination game ever since. So we just ready to get out there and show them what we're made of. And I know y'all came to the last game to see us play, and you saw the heart in our eyes.
The team's focus is at an all-time high right now. How are you guys able to stay locked in on the job and the task at hand here?
You just got to take it day by day, practice by practice, and just focus on the little things that coach tries to tell you, and pay attention to detail.
How much has this team grown and progressed? You've seen Jake Coker come out, lead this team. He won the hearts over. Calvin Ridley, yourself, everybody's stepping up and really clicking on all cylinders. How have you seen this team progress throughout the season?
I mean, our emotions bounce off each other. So we're just a band of brothers in the receiver room, and we just try to make plays when we can. And we love to see everybody make plays, defense, offense, and special teams. It all matters.
How impressed are you with how Jake Coker has really emerged as a leader on this team and at quarterback?
Yeah, I'm very impressed. Like you said, as a leader and a quarterback, you know. From the Ole Miss game, like I said, that was our downfall, and everyone counted us out, and he was the one that picked us up and telling us, let's go.
What are the biggest challenges you face against this Clemson defense on Monday?
Biggest challenge probably would be speed. We gotta play speed with speed. They're not slow guys, and we're not slow guys, so it's gonna be a good battle.
And what needs to happen when that clock hits 0 for you guys to be holding that championship trophy?
Not making mistakes. That's all. If you don't make mistakes, we're gonna be the ones holding the trophy.
And Ardarius Stewart, just a sophomore, so he's not draft eligible, but a lot of guys on the team are, and it's been a big debate all week long. When should players get their draft stock notice? They get it before the season ends, and that's a controversy because it tells them where they could get picked, and it's a huge distraction. And Nick Saban made it very clear earlier this morning at his press conference, he doesn't like it. He wants there to be a rule that players cannot get a draft grade until the year is done. It's too big of a deal, too big of a distraction. So many times we see players declare for the NFL early, like basically every Ohio State guy this year. That doesn't benefit anyone. So Saban has an idea. He hopes it sticks with the NFL and with the NCAA. Don't give draft grades until a season is done.
Now, if you finished your season on December the 6th, you can make a decision. If you're finishing it on January 11th, then you get the information after that, but you have a significant amount of time to make that decision when you finish playing so you can stay focused on what you need to do to play well, because it benefits all these players to play well in a game.
Now, Alabama will lose a coach to another program. This will be the last time defensive coordinator Kirby Smart will coach for the Crimson Tide before heading over to Georgia. Since taking over the defense in 2008, the Crimson Tide has finished among the nation's top 5 defenses. With that kind of resume, Nick Saban knew the inevitable was coming.
Like you have a son and he's moving away and you want to see him do really, really well, because we all go through stations of life where things change. So now someone else will have an opportunity. Kirby will have an opportunity. Somebody will have an opportunity to do what he does, and hopefully we can provide a little leadership and guidance that will help him along the way have a chance to be successful.
Like seeing a son leave, compassionate side of Nick Saban, and we've been seeing that a lot the last month or so. And with this defense, nothing compassionate about them. They've won the national title these years here. You see how the defenses did, all under 12 points allowed per game. They're allowing a measly 13 points per game. So very similar numbers. Don't want to jinx it or say anything, but this defense is playing exactly like all of those national title teams did.
And you talk about national titles, 2 up for grabs in the state of Alabama, hoping to go 2 for 2. Possibly just 1 for 1. 1 for 2, I should say. Jacksonville State falling to North Dakota State in the FCS National Championship game. A heartbreaking loss. We're going to talk about that coming up later on here on the Red Zone.
Time for a break. When we return, wait till you hear the Dabo Swinney dance impersonation we found from a random Clemson guy. He's Lauren's best friend now.
What's the rallying cry for Clemson? I know Roll Tide for Alabama, but what is it for Clemson?
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. Dabo, with his little dancing now, he's come up with.
Oh, God, you're already losing it.
And that, folks, is a Clemson fan giving us his best Dabo impersonation, and Chris Al Ratcliffe in the truck there. He's got a pretty good name for old boy there.
Yeah, he called him Peepaw, and apparently Lauren thinks that's the funniest thing that's ever happened to the history of mankind. Peepaw probably going to the game hoping his team wins, and he, like many of us, back to normalcy here, have one big question on mind. It's fatigue for these players. And
gosh.
You're talking about January, 5 months into a football season. The mental grind, the physical grind is big, but that mental aspect may be more taxing than you think. The emotional grind every day on the field, off the field, when the team plays poorly in a bowl or a title game. Coaches are the first to say it's because they're exhausted. So Nick Saban has a process, go figure, trying to rid his players of any mental fatigue.
You try to get people not to focus on necessarily how they feel, but to make decisions about what they need to do to continue to play well. After coaching in the NFL, where you play a 16-game season, if you get in the playoffs, it's 17, 18 games, whatever. I think that, you kind of try to get the players to focus on doing the things that they need to do to accomplish their goals.
Now, Alabama playing for their 4th national championship in 7 years. And while some people just assume winning is all part of the deal if you go to the University of Alabama, Dabo Swinney, quick to provide his praises to the person in front of it all. You know his name, Nick Saban.
People sometimes will say, well, anybody can go win at Alabama. Well, no, that's not the case. Not everybody can coach a great team. Not everybody can coach a great player. And I think that he has a gift to be able to do that.
Especially the peril that Alabama was in with sanctions before that and what Nick Saban had to work with, especially a rough first year. But he built up the team, he built up the defense, and he built up the secondary. I mean, this DB unit has been notorious the last 9 years that Saban and Smart have been there. but they had a dropping off last year, and they took that kind of personally.
Yeah, a lot of criticism going on, but in my opinion, it really fueled their fire. They played with a chip on their shoulder. They came in here this year. Now, when you look at Clemson, the way they play, they tend to outnumber defenders in the run game. That will be a big test for the Alabama secondary, who will likely get Deshaun Watson and running back Wayne Gallman in one-on-one situations. Can guys like Eddie Jackson, Marlon Humphrey, and Geno Matias-Smith handle that?
It's just gotten better every week. It might not always be in the stat book, but you know what I'm saying, as far as mental errors and missed tackles and making tackles, you know what I'm saying, it's just, we've been getting better every week.
I mean, we're ultimate competitors, and I think just use that as motivation, you know, to come in and prove everybody wrong, and I think we've done a good job of doing that.
It's a very diverse group, too. Seniors Cyrus Jones, Geno Matias-Smith, freshman Minkah Fitzpatrick, Marlon Humphreys, Ronnie Harrison in that mix, too. The big question there will be Eddie Jackson, the junior, the safety. Does he stay or does he go to the NFL? That'll be a big thing for Alabama next year. He could be the senior leader, kind of like Cyrus Jones has been the last couple of years for Alabama. They're going to lose seniors, and we know another team that's going to lose some seniors, Jacksonville State. But not looking back at yesterday. They're looking forward to tomorrow because there is some promise, too.
Absolutely. Certainly a hard way to go out. A heartbreaking loss to North Dakota State, the 4-time defending FCS national champions. They lost 37-10 yesterday, but they are looking ahead, like you said, in rebuilding this program, but building off the momentum that they're going in with. Jacksonville State obviously not happy with this result, but they're using it as motivation. And if there's a positive to take out of this debacle in Frisco, it's that the Gamecocks fought all the way to the end despite the lopsided final score.
That's not the way I'm remember this much. You know, we played well through the season. It was great to get here, and I think our guys showed a lot of heart and class in the second half. You know, to have the first half that we had, to get behind, 24-0, and then to rebound and get back in the game. And
for the most part, they kept a smile on their face. You know, they picked me up. You know, I picked them up, and they're great guys, and we're going to learn from it, and we're going to do big things in the future.
Good news, Jacksonville State will return key talent next year. Eli Jenkins, 5 other offensive starters as well. They will have to replace a lot of defense, though. Of course, looking ahead to this national championship game getting ready to be played here tomorrow night against Clemson and Alabama. Keys to victory for Alabama.
One thing, you look at Deshaun Watson, his 3 best running games for the last 3 games, all over 100 yards against South Carolina, North Carolina, and in the bowl game as well. So limit him, contain him on the outside, make him throw the ball, do not let him run.
And Derrick Henry, let him get going on the ground. Maybe a couple explosive plays from Jake Coker and his receiving corps.
And make sure you watch us tomorrow after the game. Flip over to WIT42. We'll have all your post-game coverage. Nick Saban live and players on the field. We'll see you tomorrow night. Enjoy the game tomorrow, everybody.